everyone. Back in 2022, I designed a palm dragon. There are these tiny dragons that fit in your palm, and I made them with a 4x4 hoop. So I want to make a bigger one now that I have a bigger size. Let's get started. I started off by cutting all my fabric, just so I had it all set and ready to go. The crucial part is making sure that the Minky was facing the correct direction and that the fur laid the proper way. Next, I hooped the stabilizer, and then I sprayed it down and laid my Minky onto it. Now, I'm starting off with the wings, which I am adding red fabric to add as my accent color. The wings is the only part that includes an extra colored fabric. Once I got the red all done, I cut out the excess and then I added the top stabilizer to make sure that the stitches lay down cleanly over the Minky fabric. Now, once I was doing this portion, it was all going fine and dandy. Then, all of a sudden, I noticed that the stitches were going at a weird angle. And I knew this was completely human error, and I needed to take the thing off, cut the threads off, and fix my design on my computer. Once I got that resolved, brought my design back up, and resumed my project. Watching satin stitches is honestly one of the most satisfying things ever to see. Now it's time to remove the top stabilizer. Sometimes it's so satisfying to take it off, it's like peeling glue off of your fingers in elementary school. So soft. I put the back fabric on, make sure that the fuzz is facing the right direction, and I let it go. Of course, the thread I chose was this red thread that I am very close to running out of, so I'm crossing my fingers that I don't run out of this thread. At this point, I walked away from my machine to do some other things, and of course something bad would happen right then. And again, this was entirely human error. I made a very simple mistake that cost me a lot of thread, unfortunately, especially since this thread is running out quickly. So once I realized my mistake, I took it off. I unpicked all the threads up until the point that it started the mistake. I knew immediately that this was a tension error. And how else was my tension getting messed up? Well, I had this lid down, stopping my thread from going through. So let's resume the process. Took my top stabilizer off and then laid my fabric for the back down, making sure that the fur brushed along with the proper direction. Now that the tail's done, let's get started on the body. This one's really simple. All it is just doing the claws and then the outline. But first we gotta stop with that top stabilizer. So this dragon's going to be white and red. If you were to make your own dragon, what colors would you do? Leave your comment below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. It would really help me a lot. I would love to do this more often for everyone. Finally, last but definitely not least, is the head. Now I was a little stubborn with the stabilizer and I made a mistake, and then I kept making the mistake. But I was stubborn. I wanted to keep the sheet, and I got it tangled again. So I loosened it up and I was like, you know what? It caught enough. Let's just go from here, because it was going to be in the corner and it wasn't going to affect the overall design. The face actually has a lot of red, so I was getting a little worried that I wouldn't have enough. So as I was going, I kept eyeballing that spool of red thread, and I got pretty lucky, I dare say, because I was able to complete the whole head with just that little last bit. The scales are fun to watch getting stitched, but there's just something so mesmerizing watching the horns get stitched onto the head, and it just really kind of brings out the design. Here's the amount of red thread I had after the head. My word, I was so close. They always say that eyes can show the soul, and even though this is just an inanimate object being formed, the eyes just really tell so much of a story. It just really brings personality into the project. Now onto the little nostrils. This is the actual speed. I just wanted to kind of show a little bit of that. Now that we're done with the eyes, it's time to remove the top stabilizer. Lay down the fabric. Now, I usually love to watch the back of these because of issues. I don't want it to kink up or anything like that. But while I was doing the back of this head, I got distracted. My husband came up to me and was trying to talk to me, and I turned my back on it for just a couple of seconds. And then, as you can see, right as it's starting to come down this side, it starts to pucker just a little bit. And I turned around, I saw it, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, do I stop it? Should I just keep going? And in a split second, I just decided to keep going. Don't worry, I've never actually poked my finger on the needle, at least while it's been embroidering, even though I've gotten pretty close. So with that, here are all the different pieces. To save you all the trouble of watching me cut them all out, I cut them out behind the camera and got them all trimmed up as well. And because it was Tearaway stabilizer, I tore away all the stabilizer. I have a very specific place where I cut to flip it right side out. On the body, I do it on the side that has the claws. That way it can be hidden behind the wings, the tail, and the head. Then with the tail, I do it at where it connects to the body. The wings already have a hole, so I just flip those ones right side out. And with the head, I just do it in the middle of the back of the head. And I make sure that I do it vertically on all these pieces, not horizontally, because it can do a weird stretch and pull, which we don't want. So here they all are. On to the stuffing. I have two different stuffings for this project. What I do is that I stuff the tail with the poly pellets as well as the body. So I have my little cup, I have my little funnel, and I just feed it through. I whack it, I push it, I pull it, just to make sure that I get the stuffing evenly throughout the body and the tail. I just call it the poly pellet stuffing. It's still stuffing. It's a type of stuffing. Set that to the side and onto the head. With the head, I just do regular stuffing. I do my best to evenly distribute it, and then to get into the little type things on the head, I don't know what they are actually. I use the hemostats. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. They're kind of like a surgical tweezers. And then for the wings, I just let them be empty and plain. In the future, I've been thinking about using some batting, and we'll try that later on. Maybe it'll give it some better stability, but for right now, we'll just keep them empty. Here's a little preview of the little guy done. We'll just place them. It's so fun to see it come together. So cute. Now onto the stitching it closed. Pardon the little hands there. My son was a little curious on what I was doing, kind of wanted to help, but I have some very sharp things by me right now. So right now I am closing off the wings, and I am using embroidery floss. I use embroidery floss to tie all of my pieces together and to close things off. And right here, once I get it closed in, I am just ladder stitching it closed. It might be a little hard to see here with the ladder stitch because it's just kind of close and it's white on white, but I will be showing how to do the ladder stitch on the back of the head. Because I only need to show the ladder stitch once, I have already pre-stitched the tail and the body, especially since those had poly pellets and they were pulling out of it pretty bad. So I thought I'd spare you that. So I also already closed off the other wing, so we don't have to watch it twice. Here I am just pulling the thread through, and then I'm snipping off the tails and hiding the ends in the project. Okay, so this is where the ladder stitch is a little bit easier to see. I'm cutting the ends off and starting at the top of the head, just putting it right on the inside. The embroidery floss is just thick enough that it doesn't, oh, I pulled it a little too tight, too fast. And so once I go in, go under. Now the trick is to just not pull it through all the way. You want to be able to just easily glide it through and see that ladder stitch. It helps it be more even when you do the final pull at the end. And here, I actually go back and I have it go through the cut hole. That way, I can tie my ends off and then hide it in that stitch. So there I do with the pull. I'll do 2 knots. And I use the needle point to get me as close to the head as possible. And like I said, I do that twice. Do the pull. Now with my needle tip, I'm going to search right up against that knot to find where I came through the head hole. Once I find it, I push it through. Go. And then that way the knots will actually be hidden in the head. Cut off the tails and voila, we got it all stitched up. On-screen magic, 1, 2, 3, boom! It's stitched together. Again, I used the ladder stitch and I wrapped it around twice. That way it's a little extra secure. Now a little bit of magic. Set this up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now that that's together, we're gonna just ladder stitch this onto the body. I know it looks a little awkward with its placement. It seems like there's a lot on the upper part of the dragon, but that's just because the head is going to be going there. Now when it comes to the head, again, we wrap it around the whole body twice, just for that added stability. All right, once we get to the end, I'm going to do my 2 knots, trying to get as close to that neck area as possible. And then once I've done that, I'm going to poke the needle through and have it go through all the way to the bottom, pull, cut the tail, and there you have it. We've completed our little dragon. It's great because his body is all posable, but his head is still squishy and fluffy. I just love it. It's the perfect size, fits on your shoulder as well, and it's also just very huggable and soft. That cute face. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you come back again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.